A Man's Decree, Tips for Men in the Dating Game. Page 6. Can men of America really repair things within them? The men are damaged, and even though I am helping men, I know that it will be them that either lead the charge or follow women to pull any stand-up man down. So, America, I am aware of your history and what to avoid in your mob rules attacks. This is only to help men. I know that some want the demise of stand-up men, but it won't be on my watch. Do many of you see these communities, quote unquote, when men are not present? Number 1, boys picking up feminine characteristics, emotional, physical actions, and how to view things. Number 2, men raised by women hating stand-up men. Number 3, not having male fortitude. Number 4, taught to hide behind religion. Number 5, not understanding a woman. Number 6, wanting to be like a woman. Banana theory. Think about a banana. The banana is full of essentials for the body that help maintain our health. The pseudostem looks like a trunk and is tightly packed. The leaves develop from the pseudostem and produce fruit. The bud forms at the bottom, and the weight causes it to change direction and grow toward the ground. Geotropism is the response to gravity, and it happens when the root grows within gravity. But negative geotropism is the growth against gravity. The banana, which originated in a rainforest where there is little sunlight, found a way to grow toward the sun and not topple over. I think men are in the same position as the banana at this point in society. The boys are growing up in an environment covered up by feminine ideology. So at some point when they come of age, there's a way to grow amongst the cover-up. The boys have so much feminine shade around them. It's to the point where they want to find the masculine light. The curve needs to happen. The curve away from darkness. A curve toward the light. This light is the only way to get the banana to grow, and it needs to happen without being imbalanced, which the banana does as it holds a heavy load. And it's very heavy load to carry when a boy is trying to find the ways of a man amongst women. This proverbial light can come in a few ways for the boys to grow from. The stand-up men dropping Jews and lending a helping hand can be a source of light. The proper examples on social media that comes across their phones or computers can be a source of light. The education of the boys is the highest source of light for them to grow. These ways to find light are pertinent for the future of boys coming to age as men. The Netflix show Black Mirror is an example of what men do to other men knowing or co-signing the actions of women. In Season 2, Episode 4, titled Merry Christmas, Joe loves his girlfriend Beth, and the two spend lots of time together, but she is cheating on him. Beth is cheating with her co-worker's boyfriend, an Asian guy. Joe doesn't know or suspect anything out of the norm, but after a night of hanging out with Beth's co-worker, a discovery is made. Beth is tired after the couple leaves, so she heads to bed, leaving Joe downstairs to clean up. After washing the dishes, Joe collects the trash. He pulls it from the can, but it splits, and the trash falls everywhere. He bends to pick up the trash, but Joe sees a pregnancy test that has a picture of a baby in the result area to mean pregnant. Being shocked by this, he drops everything, heads upstairs to see why she didn't tell him. He is excited, but when he questions her, Beth flies off the deep end. Joe can't believe it, so he yells after hearing that she wants to have an abortion. Anger overtakes him. He gets muted by her for 24 hours. So he throws a vase against the wall and exits the room. When a person gets muted, that person can no longer communicate with the person that mutes them. It's like a television in the 1980s with lots of static. You can't hear the person, but you can see their physical shape. Their entire shape is static. The next morning, she attempts to leave while Joe is sleeping. Beth makes it to her car and Joe runs out. He tries to stop her from leaving because he wants to talk to her. He yells apologies, but it doesn't work. Beth leaves without returning. She doesn't come back, so Joe goes to look for her after a week of being gone. He heads to her job, spots her employees, and he speaks to them. But they inform Joe of Beth's departure. A few months pass and Joe spots her in town. He runs up to her, but she still has him muted for some strange reason. She won't unmute him, and he doesn't know why. So he grabs her, and she starts to scream. Joe gets arrested. He is ordered to never be around her again. Joe knows where her father lives, so he uses vision enhancers at a distance to watch her. Beth gives birth to the child, but Joe can't see the child with the mute blocker on because it applies to the offspring as well. Joe stops watching them for a while, and one day he is sitting home watching a news channel. A crash happened and there are deaths involved, and one of those deaths are Beth. Joe is in shock. He immediately heads over to her father's home to see his daughter. The moment he arrives to see his daughter, he jumps out of the car, walks up to her, and sees an Asian little girl. He pauses. The girl runs into the house. Joe follows her in. Beth's father talks to her, and when she returns to see Joe, "What are you doing here?" he asks. Joe calmly asks, "Where's my kid?" Joe doesn't receive an answer, so he repeats it over and over again. Beth's father tells the child to go into the room as he walks on the left of Joe with a knife in his hand. "Beth didn't want you around, and I threw your letters out before she can see them," Beth's father says. Joe unwraps the gifts that he's been holding for years, thinking he had a child that one day he will get to see and he will give her the gift. A memory flashes in Joe's mind of Beth and an Asian coworker and Beth getting cuddly at the bar in front of his face, but he was having such a good time to even notice. Joe leaps up and cracks Beth's father over the head with the gift that he was unwrapping, killing Beth's father. Joe emotions all over the place, so he just leaves, leaving the little girl alone with the dead man there. The little girl leaves the room, puts on her jacket, and goes out into the blizzard only to die a few yards out from a cold storm.